This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
The school had kind of turned their backs on me, and I didn't know what to do.
A Fishers teen says her school district failed to protect her after an alleged sexual assault. Tonight, only on RTV6, she shares her story for the first time.
He's not this cold-hearted next mass shooter that the school, wanted him to be.
For the first time, we hear from the family of the Muncie teen who brought a loaded gun near a school, their side of the story.
And median a mistake, the error some drivers are making as more changes are implemented for the Indigo Red Line.
We begin now at 6 on alert for strong to severe storms headed our way tonight while many people are sleeping.
And we could use the rain, but not any damaging wind. Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts is tracking what's ahead and that timing. Kyle.
Yeah, and don't let your guard down. Even though it's been a pretty quiet weather day here across central Indiana, we do have in Indianapolis and western portions of central Indiana an enhanced risk of severe weather as we go through the overnight, meaning numerous severe storms and some widespread damage is certainly possible here. We'll check out exactly where that enhanced risk is. You can see it includes Lafayette through Connorsville, and then a slight risk of severe weather for the rest of us. Primarily some damaging winds, also an isolated tornado threat for us here. And again, the timing's not great as it's going to be during the overnight hours and while a lot of us are trying to sleep. So here's TrueCast, 12:30 tonight. That's when we'll start to see a few of those storms moving in from the west. By 2 a.m. around Indianapolis through Greencastle into Crawfordsville, and then continuing to slide south and east from there, mainly southeast of Indy by 4 a.m. through the Bloomington area as well as Columbus into Rushville and Connorsville. Should be out of here as we go into tomorrow morning, but you can see that all is nice and quiet on Storm Team 6 radar right now.
I felt like the school had kind of turned their backs on me, and I didn't know what to do.
Only on RTV6, a Fishers teenager says a classmate sexually assaulted her, and tonight she says the school district did not do enough to protect her and other students.
Amaya Armstrong is speaking publicly for the first time, and she is sharing her story only with Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny.
Kara joins us now, and Kara, you reported the federal government is getting involved in this.
That's right. The U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights launched a Title IX investigation after two families filed complaints against Hamilton Southeastern. They alleged the district failed to keep students safe from sexual misconduct. We've learned the feds have concerns about how HSC handled things, and Amaya Armstrong, she has concerns of her own. Amaya Armstrong just started her senior year at Hamilton Southeastern High School.
I think I want to be a doctor or a lawyer. I know that I want to help people.
Amaya says it's taken nearly 2 years to recover from what she says happened at the age of 15. She was a sophomore when she says an older male student sexually assaulted her.
He said that he wouldn't let me out of the car until I performed sexual acts, and when I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, he forced me to do it.
Amaya and her parents reported the alleged assault to law enforcement and HSC school officials.
The kids were horrible to me, and I felt so alone. My friends had turned their back. I had a few true friends, but I just felt so alone.
Amaya successfully obtained a protective order against the male student, but he could legally still attend the same school.
I would see him, and it was absolutely horrible. I didn't feel safe.
Amaya ended up leaving HSC High School her sophomore year.
What do you think the school could have done better?
I think they could have provided me with resources on how to cope, and instead I had to find that out by myself. There was nothing that they helped me do. Well, I felt like the school had kind of turned their backs on me.
Title IX is a federal law that says a school has a responsibility to respond promptly and efficiently to sexual harassment allegations. In its findings just released to Amaya and her parents, the U.S. Department of Education says it had concerns HSC did not appropriately determine whether a hostile environment existed for Amaya following the alleged sexual assault. The feds also had concerns the district did not appropriately follow up on reports that additional students may have been sexually harassed by the same male student.
They didn't talk to people like they could have. They didn't protect. They just didn't know what to do.
As part of its agreement with the feds, HSC has started to implement several steps, including improving its Title IX training, improving its documentation procedure of sexual harassment complaints, and the district points out the federal investigation did not result in any violations. Telling us, as part of that process, we agreed to share information with the department for a limited period of time. While unrelated to the agreement with the department, we have proactively engaged in efforts to improve our non-discrimination and anti-harassment procedures and professional development opportunities for staff and students. We will continue to monitor and refine all of our practices to reflect our continuing commitment to educational community, equity, and respect.
Do you feel like this was an adequate punishment or finding?
No. I think a lot more should have been done. I think that the district should be held accountable more than that.
The male student accused of sexual assault is known in federal documents as Student B. We are not naming him because he was never criminally charged, and we've been unable to reach him for comment.
So why is she speaking out now? Why at this point?
Well, first of all, because the federal investigation is complete, and also she says she wants to help protect other students and encourage schools to take sexual misconduct allegations seriously. So she hopes to make a difference.
And we'll see what happens going forward from here.
And good for her for speaking up, too.
Our Kara Kenny tonight. Well, the leader of the Indiana National Guard is stepping down following a lawsuit accusing him of defamation. Governor Eric Holcomb says he recommended Major General Courtney Carr retire, and he's received Carr's resignation letter Saturday. It's effective Friday. A former contractor at the Indiana National Guard filed a lawsuit accusing Carr of retaliating against her after she reported his alleged affair with a subordinate. Brigadier General Timothy Winslow will serve as interim adjutant general, according to the governor's office.
Only on RTV6, the family of the student caught with a gun near Muncie Central High School sits down with our Stephanie Wade. They explain what led up to that day and share their family's side of the story.
Tonight, we're hearing from the student's aunt after the 15-year-old brought a loaded handgun to this school. She tells me in an exclusive interview, problems at home prompted the chaos that unfolded here last week.
I broke down. Like, I cried. Like, I went into panic mode.
Many parents were in panic mode last Wednesday after reports of a student with a gun was across the street from Muncie Central High School, especially this woman, when she heard it was her nephew.
My reaction was like, oh my God, is he okay? Where is he at now?
The student's aunt, who prefers we not use her name, says while she would never excuse bringing a weapon to school, the teen's issues stem from his troubled home life. She and his mother are no longer close, but says both his parents have been in and out of jail most of his life.
My nephew has been dealing with this since he was a baby. CPS has been involved multiple times. CPS has came to my house.
She tells me the boy was being bullied and threatened and bought the gun for protection, calling on the Department of Child Services to step in.
I don't see how a 15-year-old should feel they have to carry a gun to protect themselves just because the system is failing them. No kid should ever have to feel like that.
Police say the person who alerted the school resource officer of the gun did the right thing. Parents should encourage their kids to speak up if something doesn't feel right.
We are seeing this as a growing trend around the country. Fortunately, this is pretty rare for us here locally, and I think that's why it's kind of got everybody on the edge of the seat here, just how tragic this could have been.
Working for you in Muncie, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie, thank you. We are waiting for an update from the prosecutor's office about charges for the teen. Meanwhile, Muncie Schools tells us they have mental health resources available to students through Meridian Health and also school counselors and psychologists.
There are more and new driving restrictions to get used to because of the new Indigo Red Line that launches September 1st. You may have noticed the new center median on Meridian Street. There's also one on College Avenue, so that means you just can't make left turns and go over those medians on Meridian and College. East-west movement and left turns are only permitted at intersections with traffic signals. We caught some drivers making turns anyway and going over the median. The Lincoln Square Pancake House is one of the businesses not at an intersection, which means customers are going to have to find a new way to get there.
There's pros and cons. The con is I have to drive all the way down the street to the light and either do a U-turn or just find some way to get that way because I can't get into this business.
And of course, there's a little bump there. but I just turned left right over it. And I just found out a moment ago that apparently there are no left turns on Meridian any longer.
You can get a ticket for driving over the median. Only emergency vehicles and buses are allowed to cross it.
RTV6 is working for you and continuing to ask the city of Indianapolis about a drainage project that's left behind dead fish and a terrible smell. This is what it looks like in the Castleton Farms neighborhood near 75th and Shadeland. The Department of Public Works drained a pond for a drainage project that residents agree is needed, but they're concerned about all the dead, smelly fish left behind. DPW says the Homeowners Association was aware that a fish kill was necessary. Now they are waiting for the pond to dry out to begin dredging work. The City County Council member for that area said he was told that all fish residue should be removed by the end of the week, if not sooner. Councilman Michael McQuillan said once the project is completed in November, the pond will be restocked.
In less than an hour, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett will go before the City County Council to present his proposed 2020 budget. Hogsett's administration has prided itself on being nonpartisan, as last year's budget passed the City County Council unanimously. The city's 2020 budget is expected to again be balanced, meaning it won't need to dip into a special fund to keep up with spending. He's also expected to tout the fact that no tax increases will be levied on Marion County residents. About 2/3 of the money the city government takes in comes from taxes, with about 1/4 from the state and federal government, and about 60% of the city's spending is on public safety and criminal justice. You'll look for details on RTV6 News at 11. Still ahead here tonight, do you have tickets for Elton John's Indianapolis concert?
There's been a change. Organizers had to move it to a new night. When and why? Still ahead.
The Colts are preparing to welcome the Browns to town this week, but will Andrew Luck be joining them for the joint practices? Day First has the latest from Colts camp coming up.
And our weather staying pretty quiet for the next few hours, but those rain chances ramping up for us tonight. We'll talk about the heavy rain and update you on that severe weather potential. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
That's good. Inspiring health.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Welcome back. Important news for Elton John fans. His October concert in Indianapolis is getting rescheduled by 1 day. Instead of Friday, October 25th, it will be Saturday, October 26th at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The change is due to the rescheduling of his concert in Toronto. Moving it to October 26th will allow the tour to get through customs and have enough time to get to Indianapolis. Hold on to your tickets. They will be honored on the new night.
Hiring Hoosiers, an RTV6 initiative connecting you to job opportunities, resources, and training across the Hoosier state. And as students head back to school, we have a special focus on classroom to career and programs helping students gain the experience needed to land jobs of the future. Today, we are looking at an organization called INMAC, or Indiana Next Generation Manufacturing Competitiveness Center. We traveled to Lafayette, where summer interns are sharing what they learned through the program. Over the past 2 summers, 150 students from Purdue, Vincennes, and Ivy Tech took part in the internship at manufacturers across the state, including Caterpillar, BorgWarner, Subaru, and Toyota. It's an 11-week program with a reimbursement to participating manufacturers. And from talking to students, not only are they learning skills for their future careers, but they're making lifelong connections and discovering their interests in these real-world experiences.
I got to take down and put together 2 transmissions during my summer, and I've never been like that deep into something that's mechanically like that huge. It was really cool.
Next summer, INMAC is opening up this opportunity to even more students across the state with 150 total internships. If you want to learn more about internship opportunities with INMAC for the summer of 2020 and view a list of participating manufacturers, you can go to hiringhoosiers.com and click on this story. Next week, we will be looking at an INMAC success story at FCA Chrysler in Kokomo.
Now that it's back to school time, it is also homework time, and Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology's Ask Rose Homework Hotline is ready to lend a hand. The free tutoring service began last night. It is open to 6th through 12th grade students who need help with their math or science homework. Rose-Hulman students are ready to help via phone, email, or chat Sunday through Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You can call 877-ASK-ROSE or go to the Ask Rose website, which is askrose.org. Approximately 30 tutors are available each night to guide students through their homework problems. Kyle.
And today we've had quite a bit of cloud cover. That's kept a lid on temperatures, but you probably did not escape the return of the humidity. It is fairly oppressive and tropical feeling out there with our temperatures in the lower 80s most spots. Kokomo, you're still in the upper 70s right now at 78 degrees, 83 in Bloomington. Satellite and radar, things are still fairly quiet. And in fact, we've seen a little bit of sunshine returning, especially south of Interstate 70 this afternoon. And that will help to fuel a few of those thunderstorms. But we're really going to be looking back here across portions of Illinois and Iowa for some thunderstorm development to slide our way as we go through the next several hours. So once that develops, we'll be timing that as it moves into central Indiana. Here's TrueCast by 11:30 tonight. So between now and then, things are fairly quiet for us. But once we get to midnight and beyond, look at how things change. More thunderstorms across the area. Some of those could be severe by 3 a.m. lining up here around Franklin into Indianapolis through Hendricks County back through Greencastle and Rockville as well. Those will continue to slide off to the southeast. Should move fairly quickly here by 5 a.m. Still hanging out around the Columbus area into Connorsville and Franklin County. But as we go through tomorrow morning's rush hour, I think the majority of the wet weather will be out of here. Tonight, the main threat going to be some gusty winds. Can't rule out, though, an isolated tornado. And with this being an overnight severe weather threat, make sure you've got that free Storm Shield app loaded up for your mobile device there. You'll get any alerts sent right to your phone as we go through the overnight hours. And, of course, we'll keep you updated on RTV6 as well. Could also have some heavy rainfall. Several spots could see over 2.5 inches of rainfall here as you get under a couple of those thunderstorms. It's going to wring out all that humidity. Temperatures tonight not falling very much at all. Most of us will be in the 70s first thing on Tuesday morning. And as we take you hour by hour through your Tuesday forecast, most of the day is going to be dry. Still going to hold on to the humidity and the chance for an isolated shower here as we go through the afternoon. But most of us are not going to see any additional rainfall as we head through our Tuesday afternoon. That 7-day planning forecast now as we put it all together for you. And those temperatures are going to be staying fairly seasonal for this time of year over the next few days. 83 will be the high on Wednesday with partly sunny skies, the lower 80s on Thursday. And for the end of the week, we'll kind of get rid of that humidity temporarily. But look, as we go into the upcoming weekend, those temperatures starting to rebound here a little bit. Upper 80s, close to 90 degrees by Sunday. And we do have an isolated shower chance right now on Saturday. We'll see. We may need to increase that chance a little bit. By Monday, we're still talking about those highs around 90 degrees. But again, it's pretty much between about 11 o'clock tonight and 6 a.m. that we'll be watching for some severe weather.
I think it bears worth mentioning again to get the Storm Shield app and have it on the alert so that you know if anything's coming overnight.
It is free and it'll chirp for you to let you know. All right.
Thank you, Kyle. We have Dave First standing by with a look at sports, and we're talking football.
Busy day, busy week as well. Good evening. Where really has the time gone? It's the final week now of Colts training camp up in Westfield, but in many respects, probably the most interesting week. Brad Brown with more from Grand Park.
It's the end of a 3-day working weekend for the Colts as practice moved indoors once again here at Grand Park as they now reach the home stretch of training camp and this final week. Still a lot of energy with this group, particularly on the defensive side of the ball as they now look ahead to the final 2 days with the Browns coming to town.
Defense made a lot of plays and really playing with a lot of energy right now, really getting off the ball, making plays, really committed. Especially, they've been good all camp, but especially the last couple days.
You know, we preach focusing on little things, the 1% better. You know, that's not just a slogan or something. Everybody has really bought into that and believes that.
Andrew Luck will not practice again for the rest of this week as he continues working his way back from a calf injury with no firm timetable on a return.
Really no new update, just continued to kind of, Andrew, he's exhausting it, right? I mean, just doing everything possible. The walkthroughs have continued to be really good, really tuned in, and then physically just doing everything he can do to get back out on the field.
All that's left now are the final 2 sessions. Cleveland comes to town for those practices. Those will be on Wednesday and Thursday here at Grand Park. Each of those is scheduled to start at 4 p.m. And then the preseason game between those two teams at Lucas Oil Stadium comes up on Saturday. At Colts training camp in Westfield, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Brad, thanks. Hope you join us tonight. News at 11 o'clock. Our Sports Extra spotlight on Cubs outfielder Kyle Schwarber, the former IU star. He's now 26 in his 5th season in the Bigs. He's eyeing career highs in hits, runs, home runs, RBI, not to mention batting average. He's also becoming known for his charity work that he's doing up in Chicago. Next week, he's set to host his 3rd annual block party honoring military members and first responders, helping to improve their quality of life. How the man with the big bat is giving back in a big way, and how you can get involved as well tonight on the news at 11 only right here on RTV6. Meanwhile, a big day for NBA fans. Schedule for the upcoming season is out. The Pacers getting 6 nationally televised games, 5 on our friends at ESPN. Big month of December as well. Here's a snapshot. Key games played at home begins with the season opener October 23rd. The Bucks are in town November 16th. Then look at December. PG and the Clippers are here on the 9th. LeBron and company on the 17th. And another New Year's Eve game as well against the 76ers. Can't wait. Hey, finally tonight, first and foremost from the NBA, another sure sign the season is quickly approaching. The league's rookies for their annual photo for the folks at Panini, and their basketball cards they put out each and every year. That includes Purdue's Carson Edwards, IU's Romeo Langford, and naturally Pacers rookie Goga Bitadze. 6'11", 18th overall pick. Just 6 weeks away from the start of training camp. Speaking of college sports, Ball State is here, ladies and gentlemen. Chirp, chirp. You guys are from which class now?
Television news.
Early start, television news. Future stars right here. The news at 6 continues after this.
Welcome back. The Indiana State Fair is in its final week, but there's still plenty of fun and adventures on tap in this closing week. If you are headed out tomorrow, it's another $2 Tuesday, and that means admission, rides, and some food offerings are just $2 each. The superhero to meet tomorrow is The Flash, and you can do that at noon, 2, 4, and 6 in the Harvest Pavilion. You can catch the Indiana State Fair Championship Rodeo in the grandstand at 7:30, and 16 Candles will be on the free stage at 7:30.
And it is a great week of music at the fair. On Wednesday, Boys to Men will be on the free stage. On Thursday, Melissa Etheridge. Friday, Everclear, and Saturday, The Guess Who. All the concerts begin at 7:30.
And the weather will settle down by tomorrow if you're heading off to the fair, but after 11 o'clock tonight, we do have some strong to severe storms we'll be watching, primarily some gusty winds and isolated tornadoes.
Up next here on RTV6 is World News with David Muir.
We'll be back at 7. See you then.